What if I told you that every time you use ChatGPT, you're literally making your brain weaker? And I'm not talking metaphorically. I'm talking about measurable, physical changes in your neural networks. Stick around because the research I'm about to share will make you question everything about how we're using AI. Let's start with a phrase that sounds as bad as it is. Brain rot. Yes, that's a real term, and it was named Oxford's Word of the Year for 2024. Not innovation, not breakthrough, but brain rot. This isn't some boomer panic about kids these days. This is Gen Z and Gen Alpha literally describing their own mental state. They're saying their brains feel rotted. From what? Low quality digital content? Endless scrolling? And yes, AI doing the thinking for them. But here's where it gets really wild. While kids are joking about brain rot on TikTok, MIT scientists are in labs with EEG machines literally watching our brains deteriorate in real time when we use AI. And the results? They're not funny at all. Picture this. You're in an MIT lab, electrodes attached to your head, writing an essay. Half the room uses ChatGPT, half writes from scratch. The results? 83% of ChatGPT users couldn't quote a single sentence they'd just written minutes earlier. Not one sentence. Compare that to only 11% of people who wrote without AI. But wait, it gets worse. The brain scans showed ChatGPT users had 47% weaker neural connectivity. Think of your brain like a highway system. AI users had fewer roads, less traffic, basically a cognitive ghost town. But even when they stopped using AI, their brains stayed broken. 78% still couldn't remember what they wrote. This isn't convenience, folks. This is cognitive debt. And just like financial debt, it compounds. Let's talk about what's happening at schools, because this is where the future gets really dark. 88% of students now use AI for assessments. That's not a typo, by the way. 88%. We've gone from 53% to 88% in just 1 year. But here's what teachers are telling me. Students can't read long texts anymore. They're so used to feeding everything into AI for summaries that they've lost the ability to process complex information themselves. It's like having a personal trainer do all your workouts. Your muscles just disappear. And the critical thinking scores? A study of just over 660 participants found a correlation of negative 0.68 between AI usage and critical thinking. In research terms, that's not just significant, that's catastrophic. We're literally watching an entire generation lose the ability to think independently. But wait, before you think this is just about lazy students, let me hit you with something that will make every professional watching this uncomfortable. Microsoft studied 319 knowledge workers, people like you and me. They found something fascinating and terrifying. The more confident people were in AI tools, the less they actually thought. High AI confidence literally reduced cognitive effort. Think about that. The better you get at using AI, the worse you get at thinking. It's like the ultimate catch-22. And here's where the creativity argument falls apart. Yes, AI can help you generate 500 design ideas in 5 hours. That sounds amazing, right? But here's what the research actually shows. AI-assisted ideas are significantly more similar to each other. We're not getting more creative, we're getting more homogenized. One researcher put it perfectly. AI-assisted ideas seem creative now because they're unusual for humans. But in the long run, it'll just be the same thing over and over again. We're trading genuine innovation for the illusion of creativity. This isn't happening in isolation. American IQ scores have been declining since 2006. That's called the reverse Flynn effect. Norwegian researchers shows the same pattern. We were already getting dumber, and now we've handed our remaining cognitive abilities to machines. But here's the question that should haunt every leader, every parent, every person who cares about human potential. What happens when an entire generation can't function without AI? What happens when the power goes out, when the server crashes, and when the AI companies decide to change their terms of service? We're creating a civilization of cognitive dependence, brilliant at prompting machines, helpless at independent thought. Look, I know this is hard to hear. I use AI too. It's incredibly seductive. Why struggle with a problem for hours when AI can solve it in seconds? But every time we make that choice, we're choosing convenience over capability. The calculator comparison doesn't work here. Calculators did arithmetic. They didn't do our thinking. Modern AI does the actual cognitive work. We're not just offloading computation, we're outsourcing cognition itself. And unlike physical fitness, where you can see your body deteriorating, cognitive decline happens invisibly until it's too late. By the time you realize you can think without AI, you've already lost the ability to think with it effectively. So what do? We can't uninvent AI, and honestly, we shouldn't. But we need to fundamentally change how we use it. AI should challenge us to think deeper, not replace our thinking entirely. Here's my challenge to you. For the next week, try doing one cognitive task per day without AI. Write an email from scratch. Solve a problem manually. Read a long article without summarizing it. See how it feels. Because human intelligence is our species' greatest asset. We cannot afford to squander it for convenience. What's your take? Are you feeling the cognitive effects of AI? Drop a comment below and please write it yourself. Hit subscribe for more uncomfortable truths about our AI future. Thank you very much for tuning in with me. This has been a very contentious topic, and to be completely clear, despite what I've said today, I'm still pro AI when using it correctly. I appreciate everybody's support. Take care of yourselves, and as always, be kind to each other.